Let's get this party started by visiting chat.openai.com. So you're going to have to create your own account. You can start by clicking on the sign up button and continue from here. So you can either connect your Gmail or your Microsoft account directly, or even continue with Apple, or you can just put in your email right here. You can use any password as long as it is safe. So it has to be at least 12 characters, some capital letters, and possibly some numbers. From here, the other information that ChatGPT will ask is your full name, your birthday, and later on, don't forget to verify your new account through your email. So once you have signed in, you will see the ChatGPT interface. On the left side, you have the history of your previous chats. This is where you can go back to old conversations and continue them without having to start a new one on the same topic. You also have the button to start a new chat. So by clicking on, you can start a fresh chat on a new topic, and it will save right here. Next up, you have the search button, which this allows you to actually search for keywords or titles if you don't necessarily remember the title. You can type in any keyword from a conversation and it will pull up relevant previous chats with that particular word. So let's just say trip. Here I have my conversation about planning a trip to New York. If you want to check out some settings from your profile icon on the top right corner right here, you can adjust a couple of things on your profile. So you can start with switching between dark and light mode. You also have the always show code when using data analyst. You can show follow-up suggestions in chats. You can switch your language. There's many options to go through. You can also archive all of your chat history. You can delete chats. This will help you freeing up space if eventually you run out of it. And you can also log out. You also have personalization, which this will allow you to customize your ChatGPT to fit your needs better. So let's go on and check that out. So first up, you will answer some questions about yourself. Let's just say, my name is Jane. What do you do? I'm an owner of a coffee shop. In here, it will ask you, what traits should ChatGPT have? So you can describe anything that you would like to assign to your ChatGPT, or you can go down here and select some of these. Next up, you have anything else ChatGPT should know about you. So this is where you can put in what is it that you're looking for in ChatGPT, particular things that you think it can help you with. By specifying things about yourself, you will get more useful outputs. Besides that, you also have your advanced settings right here where you can select and deselect a couple of functions that you can use in ChatGPT. I have all of them selected because they all are very useful. Later we'll go in and explain a little bit deeper on what these mean and how to use them. Another useful thing here in the settings, you can actually customize the voice chat that we'll also get into later, but here you can choose between a couple of different voices. For example, we have Arbor right now. Boy, glad to meet you. I think we're going to do great work together. Where should we start? We also have female voices. Hey there. I've got a really great feeling about us zooming up. How can I? So you can customize this. I'll just go with Amber, why not? And again, select your language. Or you can leave it to auto detect. So finally, as you navigate the app, you can keep an eye out for helpful tooltips. If you hover over buttons, for example, here, it will explain to you what this button does. So this one is search the web, think before responding. Here it uploads files and more. So if you need any help, just hover your mouse over these buttons and you'll get a clear answer. So now that you are familiar with the interface, let's move on to using prompts effectively. You can start a new chat and type your question right in this chat box right here. Under it, you will also see different suggestions from the chatbot about what type of things you can ask and how to start your prompt. So I have different kinds of options. So by clicking on any of these buttons, that's how your prompt will begin. So let's try with surprise me. And here you have a couple of options to go through. Let's try surprise me with a story about yourself. There we go. Here's something unexpected about me. I once had an existential crisis after being asked to write a poem. That is beautiful. Before we start, there is a simple formula you can use to get the best responses from ChatGPT. Every prompt works better when it includes a combination of these 6 elements. First up, you have task. So, what do you want ChatGPT to do? Use an action verb like generate, explain, compare, or write. Next is context. This will give background details relevant to your request. Then you have intent, which is to clarify what you are trying to achieve. Next is persona. This will assign a role or a style to guide ChatGPT's response. Next is format. This will specify how you want the output to be structured. So for example, a list, a table, or a paragraph, and so on. And last is tone. So this, if needed, will set a style like professional, casual, dramatic, or humorous. Not every prompt needs all 6 components, but you can use this as a checklist to make sure that you're giving just enough information to get a useful prompt. So first, let's try a simple fact-based question. I will type, what are the key differences between a comet and an asteroid? So as you can see, ChatGPT has provided a very structured answer with some key points, and each of these contain 2 bullet points on each comets and asteroids, which is great, and it's very short and straight to the point. However, sometimes you may want a shorter and more detailed response. So this is when you can go in and switch up the prompt a little bit. For example, explain the difference between a comet and an asteroid in 1 sentence. And here we go. The long explanation, which isn't that long because it can get very much longer. In 1 sentence, let's see. A comet is an icy body that develops a glowing tail when near the sun, while an asteroid is a rocky or metallic object that remains solid and tailless. This is a beautiful response, and it does capture the proper difference between a comet and an asteroid. So it pretty much adjusted its output accordingly. And it is important to remember that subtle prompt tweaks can give you much better and more accurate outputs. Now let's improve a prompt by using the formula that I was just talking about. Give me a travel guide for the Caribbean. So instead of just leaving your prompt to be that, we can add way more details. I'm going to go in and say, you are pirate. How do you spell pirate? Jack Sparrow. Write an engaging travel guide about a 1-week vacation, 3 Caribbean islands in an exciting and humorous tone. And let's add the amount of words. There we go. We have applied some of those elements to this prompt. We have assigned the role. We have the command, which is write an engaging travel guide. And we have also applied the tone, which is exciting and humorous, and specified in 200 words. So we have a clear plan of 3 days in a very exciting and humorous tone, because there are words that I did not expect to be. So this is a very, very highly customized output. This is definitely going to attract some eyes, that's for sure. So next we will ask for a list. I will type, give me 10 unique birthday gift ideas for someone who loves astronomy. So ChatGPT is really great at generating creative lists, whether for brainstorming, meal planning, or even travel ideas. So I can personally confirm that this is actually a very good list, and I would love to receive 9 out of these 10 things. Thank you very much. Moving on, you can also ask for structured comparisons. So let's try another example here. Let's type compare a MacBook and a Windows laptop for video editing in a table format. So now we are asking a particular format out of this output. So let's see how this goes. And it never disappoints. Now it has generated me a beautiful table comparing some of the features between MacBook and Windows laptop. Even with a conclusion, asking for your output to be generated in a table is a really great way to take this information and read it through quickly and understand it better because everything is compared and everything's organized. And if you need help writing, ChatGPT could actually generate text in different styles and tones. So let's try this with a prompt. I'm going to say, write a professional email requesting a job. And here we have pretty much a template, but from here I can also adjust it even more and type in another prompt saying, make it more casual. And here we have an entire tone change. So we went from professional and very clean cut and corporate to a little bit more casual in a couple of seconds. And again, this is a template that you can copy and paste and then just add your name and your contact information and you're ready to go. And if you're into coding, you can ask for code snippets. Let's try write a Python function that calculates the factorial of a number. Here is what ChatGPT came back with. From here, I can even follow up with, can you explain this line by line? And here we have a full explanation of each line that it generated before. So we can really understand what is what. And this is also really great for learning to code. But overall, ChatGPT can generate Python code, but if you do need to run and analyze data, that is something we will, of course, cover later. But overall, as you can see, ChatGPT is a powerful tool when you know how to phrase your prompts effectively. One of the most exciting features in ChatGPT is ChatGPT Vision, which allows you to upload images and ask the AI to analyze them. You can upload by clicking here on Upload Files and More, and select your source. You have option for connect to Google Drive, connect to Microsoft OneDrive, and from your computer. I'm going to upload this image right here. Once you have uploaded the image, you can ask ChatGPT questions about it. So since I have uploaded an image of a dish I saw on Instagram, I will write, can you suggest a recipe based on this meal? So ChatGPT will actually analyze the ingredients and suggest a possible recipe. I find this to be extremely crazy because look at this. We have ingredients and instructions. And this is actually really great because I'm actually going to make this. I'm so excited. This looks so yummy. And since ChatGPT saves these chats, whenever the weekend comes around, I'm going to go back to my old chats, bring up this recipe, and enjoy my ratatouille. Besides that, you can also upload charts, maps, handwritten notes, and then you can ask ChatGPT to identify them. Unlike older versions of ChatGPT that were limited to past knowledge, the free version now includes real-time web search. To use it, just click on this button right here, which says Search. Now that we have search selected, I'm just going to put in the prompt, what is the latest news on space exploration? And here we can see the first source, which by clicking on it will guide us back to the actual source, which is a website. And this is really cool because this way you can actually get up-to-date information on anything, and ChatGPT isn't just relying on old information that it was trained on. But here we have the full breakdown on the recent news in space exploration. Each of these paragraphs have the source, which we can then click on and verify and then read upon it. And then at the end, we have the resources here collected if we don't want to go through the entire thing. This way, ChatGPT will fetch the latest information from the web instead of relying on the older training data. This is really great for checking news, looking up recent research, or even finding today's weather. You can also specify your sources by saying, search the web for the latest tech trends from Wired and The Verge. Sometimes ChatGPT will give you 2 responses to get your feedback. So this is also a really great way to find out which is the best way that you would like to get your responses in by reading through, see what fits you best, and just select one of them. For the sake of this example, I'm going to go with this shorter one. But overall, you don't even have to select the search button right here. You can just specify it in your prompt and also specify the exact sources that you want the information to be pulled from. Another powerful function is reasoning mode, which allows ChatGPT to make more time analyzing complex problems. You can select the reasoning mode by just clicking on this reason button, and then you can put in your prompt. I will go with something that definitely would benefit from a reasoning. With the response, it actually gives you the time that it took it to reason, which then you can see the process by clicking on this little arrow right here. And here is how we got to this result. So I will not lie. I think this is the best way to explain quantum entanglement. And it's also very fun to read through the reasoning process on how it got there. Sometimes it can be longer, sometimes it can be shorter, but it shows the behind the scenes of what happens when you ask an AI to come up with an answer. So it's really cool. With reasoning mode enabled, ChatGPT processes more deeply before responding, which will result in more detailed and accurate answer. You can also literally read through the processing and see how it came up with this answer. This is definitely a game changer for technical topics, problem solving, and even research. Have you ever received an answer from ChatGPT and wanted to tweak it? That is where Canvas comes in. I'm going to start with asking it to write me a short script on, let's say, quantum entanglement. Here I have an example script on the same topic we were just using. What I can do here is select this little button right here, which is Edit in Canvas. So let's see what happens. Here in Canvas, I can make direct edits to this text in particularly without disturbing the chat that I was in just now. So going through the text is definitely not a bad script. However, I would want it to sound a little bit more serious. And so I'm going to go here on the side and ask it to change the tone to be a bit more serious. And we can see it in real time how it changes this script right in front of me. So first thing I notice is that the emojis are gone, which is okay, but that's not really what I'm here for. However, the reading through it, it is definitely a little bit more serious. So I definitely see the tone change, which is great. I love that. However, I would like to change this sentence alone. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to click on Ask ChatGPT. Here's where I'm going to put in my prompt. Can you expand on this and make it longer? And here we have the same text, but much more longer and more informative. So very useful. Also, let's say I don't like this line right here. I'm not sure why AI does this, but I see this very often. Take out this dash from here and anywhere else in the text. All right, so our dashes are gone. This is a super short and a quick way to show you how Canvas actually works. I have found it very, very useful, especially when it comes to things like emails, where I like to change a couple of things, but I don't want to go one after another in the main chat. I can just go in Canvas and do all the edits uninterrupted. The next thing I wanted to show you is this ability to explore and use custom GPTs. These are specialized AI models tailored for different tasks. So you can find them by clicking on your profile picture and selecting Explore GPTs. So by scrolling through custom GPTs, you can find all kinds that can help you with all kinds of tasks. For example, you have programming that can help you with coding. You have lifestyle, research and analysis, education, productivity, writing, and you can also search for them here in the search bar. So let me search for something like learning Spanish. And here we have a very long list, but I'm going to select this first one and try it out. So we have conversation starters here. I'm a beginner, which does apply to me. So let's select that, which included a prompt. I'm a beginner in Spanish and I want to become an expert. And it has begun the sentence with excelente. I am here to help you on your journey from beginner to expert in Spanish. My native language is Latvian and I want to learn Spanish because I love to visit South America. All right, so I will start with greetings. All right, so we have common Spanish greetings, asking how someone is. We have the actual Spanish. Then it says whether it's informal or informal and the English translation. And I love how with this custom GPT, it actually asks me very particular questions to help me with the process of learning Spanish through this. So this just shows a fraction of the power that custom GPTs have because they are particularly made and customized to perform best at those particular tasks. So in this case, it feels like I'm talking to an actual Spanish teacher whose job is to know exactly my language background and my intentions so they know what to begin with and how to work with me. Even as a free user, you can browse these available GPTs and see which ones are best suited for your needs. While creating your own does require a Plus subscription, you can still access many pre-built GPTs to enhance your experience and tailor chatbot for specific workflows or even industries. As I showed you before, the list just keeps going on and on with these custom GPTs, and I feel like there's a solution for every single problem you can think of. So one of the most exciting features in ChatGPT is its voice mode, which you can actually have a real-time conversation with the AI. This makes ChatGPT feel more like a personal assistant you can actually talk to. To start the voice mode, just tap on this microphone button and you can start speaking. ChatGPT will listen to you, process the request, and then respond in real time with very natural sounding kind of speech. You are a personal productivity coach. Can you give me 3 quick tips for staying focused while working? Absolutely. Here are 3 quick tips to help you stay focused. 1. Prioritize tasks. Start by identifying your most important tasks and tackle them first. This ensures you're working on what truly matters. 2. Limit distractions. Find a quiet workspace, put your phone on silent, and use apps that block distracting websites. 3. Take breaks. Use techniques like the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. This helps maintain high levels of focus. Thank you, that was very useful. I'm glad you found it helpful. Let me know if you need more tips or anything else. Happy to help. So, you saw how natural and interactive that was. Voice mode actually lets you bounce ideas back and forth, just like you would in a real conversation. I especially find it super useful when I'm on the go because I do have ChatGPT on my phone. And then whenever I have a creative idea and I want to brainstorm it right away, I just open my app and start chatting. It's like having a super smart assistant that never sleeps. So far, we've explored everything you can do with the free version of ChatGPT. But now let's take a quick look at some of the most powerful features available in the paid plans. With ChatGPT Plus, Pro, and Teams, you actually get unlimited access to GPT-4o series, O1, and O3 series with no message caps. These models offer faster responses, higher efficiency, and enhanced reasoning capabilities for more complex queries. You also get priority response speed, so your chat loads much faster, even during peak hours. If you work with numbers, research, or coding, this next feature is definitely a game changer. The Advanced Data Analysis tool, formerly it's known as the Code Interpreter, it lets you upload files, analyze spreadsheets, generate charts, solve math equations, and automate calculations. I'm going to upload a financial report and see what kind of insight it will give me. So I'm going to upload from my computer, select my file, and upload. Now that my file is uploaded, I'm going to put in my prompt. So now that the bullet points and the actual chart is ready, you can see that it took my CSV file and made a beautiful chart out of it. This is way more pleasant to look at and it's very easy to understand in comparison. And the bullet points are very well summarized key insights from the revenue analysis. Besides that, I can also download this chart if I need to present it to someone. I can also change the color and I can make this an interactive chart, which is way more fun to look at as well. So going through detail by detail definitely helps understanding the data much better. You can use this for financial reports, business analytics, research projects, or even just exploring trends in your personal data. One of the newest features is scheduled tasks. This will allow you to set automated reminders or AI-driven tasks. For example, I will make a task for ChatGPT to give me AI news summary every morning. So I'm going to begin by clicking on the model menu and select GPT-4o with schedule tasks. Here, I will begin my prompt. And here we go. It has created me a task. If I click on this, this is where I can further customize the name. Here are the instructions, which I can always also change, and I can also change the schedule itself. So I can go from daily to weekly, monthly, annually, and custom. And also the times can be changed if you change your mind. Another option is to pause this task, or you can delete it altogether, but I'll hit save. And here it says, sure, I will provide you a summary each morning at 8 a.m. You just need to set this task once and ChatGPT will automatically deliver updates based on your preference, whether through notifications in the ChatGPT app, email summaries, or integrations with tools like Slack and Google Calendar. Now I'm going to show you how to adjust how you get your notifications. So you go to settings and next you're going to hit on notifications and here you have the task option and over here you can select whether it is a push notification or an email. From my experience, this feature right here has definitely kept me on top of my responsibilities.